Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 2 versus 2 breakthrough game on Cheux. Now this is something a bit different, and breakthrough isn't a game mode that I would usually play. However, since there is the Christmas event, and by winning a 2v2 breakthrough game you can gain yourself a new Panzer IV Ace, I decided to jump on and play this during my stream with Jagdsauce on my team against Uermen and Dandin. So yeah, if you haven't already done it, just jump into a breakthrough game, either against AI, 2v2 it has to be, or against 2 other players, and if you win, you get the Panzer IV Ace, which is fantastic for the 12th SS Panzer. So today, myself and Jagdsauce are going at it with the 3rd Armoured and the 4th Armoured, I believe. And then Uermen and Dandin are defending with the 3rd Fallschirmjäger and the 352nd. So the idea that I had really was kind of just to push up one road and then have Jagdsauce push up the other. So me and Jagdsauce were kind of communicating. I was on my stream at the time, and he was like listening to my stream. So he sort of knew what I was saying and what I suggested throughout the game, and that allowed us to maybe push, a bit better together rather than it being a bit disjointed. Because when you're playing with other people, especially on breakthrough, it's quite important that you have a tactic or basically some sort of consensus of how you're going to play it, because I think tactics are like 100 times more important in breakthrough than in any other game mode. But for this game mode, I'm going to keep it from my point of view. I don't want you guys to know what we're coming up against. I don't want you guys to see the defenses. We will work through it and I will talk about it as I move on. So at the start, with the 3rd Armoured, you can get a jumbo, and this is a massive deal actually, because I don't think the 3rd Fallschirmjäger or the 352nd have anything really to deal with it until Phase C. So in Phase C, the 352nd get the Jagdpanthers, and the 3rd Fallschirmjäger, they're going to have to rely on like Air Force more than anything, because most of their AT guns will be a little lackluster. So here we have multiple mortar carriers. You can see I've got 4 M21 mortar carriers and the Calliope. Now, since the patch, or one of the patches, they actually removed some of the longer range artillery from Phase A, so I do have to rely on these M21 mortar carriers, and if I'm not too careful they might get themselves into range of a Pak 40, which could lead them to getting killed. So I've got to play around that a little bit, because they're restricted by that range, but I do have the Calliope there just in case, and that's got the 1600 meter range, which is a lot better and more useful. But as you can see, I'm starting with multiple units of recon. I'm putting down 6 units of scouts at the start, just so that I can quite literally scout out what is ahead and find out where those AT positions are, as well as anything else. I then have my jumbo there. I have the M4A1 pool, which is an ace for the 3rd Armoured. Then the M4A376 there, another one. M16 MGMC, just to give me some light AA at the start of the game, and then following that up with a few units of infantry. However, I don't really intend to use these until I'm certain that I can get a foothold somewhere, because in this game mode, you get all of the points in one go at the start of the game, and this can be quite deceiving, because if you just put all your points down and then use them all and then sort of run out, you can definitely give the advantage to the defenders. Whereas what you should do is save a lot of points, find out what you need to do, then buy the units accordingly. So I've got a small amount of infantry, just because they're probably the least useful units, and then I bought what I know will be useful. So these M4A 376 mils, they are great because they're 1200 meter range. I've got the command tank just because it's a 2-star command tank and it's just useful anyway for the command. And of course the jumbo pretty much bounces any AT guns in this phase, so that's great. AA is always useful, recon's useful, and of course artillery, because the recon is basically spotting for these mortars and the Calliope for the majority of the game. Now the reason I have them spread out over here, just so you guys know, is because they can deploy Pak 40s like here. And as you can see, if a Pak 40 started here, for example, like 3 Pak 40s started here, for example, then they could all fire down the main road straight away, which is actually quite scary to think about, especially with the way I deployed these forces. Obviously the jumbo's at the front, which is fine, but Paul would most definitely die if there was like 3 Pak 40s just sat there aiming down this road at the start of the game. But either way, yeah, I've got these behind here because it's important that I keep them alive. So they're quite simply out of line of sight. That's what I'm going for there. So quite a long deployment generally is with the breakthrough game mode. Generally, like, both sides give each other time to set up their defenses, or our attack in this case. And yeah, there was no real rush. I was just on stream talking to everybody. And if you haven't already, come check out my stream. I try and stream every Thursday at 10:30 GMT, so make sure you come check it out if you want to. Of course, optional, but it is good fun, and there's a chance of you getting into the game sometime, so that's cool as well. But here we go, all of my recon driving forward, just going to unload them all and just have them run to where I need them. And you can see already I've spotted 2 88s back here. We killed off the Panzerschreck, which is very important, stops them ambushing us. And then over on this left side, we've got Jagdsauce being held up by a 2-star Pak 40, which is pretty damn dangerous. And I'm just being held back by a Pak 38 at this very moment. So it's quite interesting that Dandin's places 88 over here. It's an interesting place, but honestly, we need to take the town, for example. So what I'm going to do is focus on the town. There's no point in defending the whole front line in this game mode, because you need to defend the objective. Now, this 88 can be annoying later on. For example, if it just starts to wheel over here and gets line of sight onto this road, then it might get some side shots. What you can see here at the moment is my M4A376 is currently engaging a Pak 38 that can't fire back. What ends up happening as well is this Pak 38 opens up on the pool, but I don't actually have to be too worried about that engagement, just because 10 AP takes quite a while to penetrate 9 armor. So I'm just going to leave up to my jumbo to engage that direct on. Mortar fire coming in from Jagdsauce as well, and that's 2 AT guns down already. So AT guns, because they're static, are actually relatively easy to deal with, but here what I'm trying to do now is take on this Flak 88. Unfortunately for me, this 88 is having a little bit of line of sight issue, but could probably stop and aim at one of my M21. So I'm just trying to pin it down as soon as possible. Multiple aircraft coming in. HS-129 is going for the Calliope. Thankfully, I have a 50 cal wall due to all of these units having 50 cals, and that's going to absolutely annihilate the HS-129 with the help of my M16 MGMC, of course. So taking down that HS-129 at the start is a very big deal, actually, because it takes away one more unit that Uermen could use to destroy my forces. I was quite lucky that my Calliope survived though, so just got to count my blessings there. But my scout's still moving forward, still trying to find out information for me, and I am just hammering the crap out of this 88. Just don't want that to recover. I've got to keep it pinned down so the rest of my forces can move forwards. I'm even moving forwards the M4A3 into range here, just to try and find line of sight, and if I do, I can start hitting the 88 directly. But just simply trying to micro my M21 mortar carriers as best I can. Meanwhile, on this left side, it looks like Hellcats, M4 at 105 and so on are trying to hit the Pak 40 here. Now I use the Calliope to help take out the 88, cancel the attack order after it dies, and then I can use that to take out the next 88s. So here the 88 engaging my M4A3. I managed to get a critical on my M4A3 instead of getting it killed. That was actually really lucky again. So Dandin not having too much luck with the strikes here at the moment, but as soon as that 88 shows itself, Calliope comes in, going to be going for that rocket strike there, just trying to weaken it. But then I've also got to be careful of the 88 on the left side, and you can see again 88 fires away onto this mortar carrier. I am not going to be deterred, however. Let my mortar carrier fire one shot and retreat. So for now, just pulling back again. Got that cheeky mortar shot off. Just was watching the aim timer really of the 88 and allowed it to happen. Because if that mortar carrier or mortar shot had landed directly on the 88, then I would have pinned it down. But with that happening, it looks like Dandin's actually trying to retreat the 88 behind the tree line, which isn't actually a great idea, especially if I can still see it. Because now he's blocked his line of sight, his ability to fire back, yet I can still fire at him. So not the best move. You probably wanted to keep that in front so that when the M21s came into range, the 88 could have a go at killing some of them, because taking out these mortars is very important right now. Now, I almost let my Calliope get killed by the 88 there. It actually bounces a shot in the front armor from an 88, which was, again, very lucky. This Calliope, I don't know, he certainly had his luck today. My MGMC is moving up on this right side. Going to be engaging the Osttruppen here. On this left side, these Osttruppen absolutely annihilated. Now, since I've got a chance to secure these buildings, I have now moved up with my infantry, and you can see I'm using my armoured LMG rifles here and the armoured rifles to push back the enemy infantry I'm up against. My Calliope is going for the shots onto the 88 there, but doesn't do a particularly great job, and my MGMC is still moving forwards here, trying to take out the MG34. As you can see, Pack 40 pops out of nowhere, tracks, well, it does wheel damage to my MGMC, and that is a goner. So that's my AA pretty much gone in phase A, and it was quite a careless move on my part, but I just assumed that I would be able to see any AT guns in here with these scouts. Obviously I couldn't, and I got punished because of it. The Grenadier on the left side now dead. I'm continuing to push forwards with everything I got. Calliope's firing the last of its rockets onto the 88 there, just trying to pin that down so that my mortar carriers can engage, and I just about managed to pin it, and now the mortars are going to fire away. Now this is very risky how I'm using these M21s. I don't really want to, get them in range of the 88s. As you can see, I'm dancing about with them at the moment. M4A3 trying to find some shots onto the Pack 38 there. M3 half track going to be going down because I didn't get the kill there. So now these two mortars, they're aiming at that 88. As you can see, I've got them a little bit staggered. Now just aiming straight at them, because with those two mortar shots coming in, I knew that the 88 would get pinned down just by the way that they were going. So now just aiming straight at him, and Dandin's doing a good job of keeping those falling back. Jumbo's now just rolling forwards. Doesn't really care about being hit by the Pack 40 here. There is like a small chance of penetration, I think. But the only thing I'm worried about with the Jumbo right now is just killing off this 88. So mortar carriers on target. Mortar carriers going to be taking out the Pack 40. That should open up a good window for Jagdsauce as well on my left side. Yeah, quite simply, the Jumbo's just tanking everything at the moment. And I'm just hoping to get the kill onto the Pack 40. I managed to get a really nice shot onto the 88 there to finish it off. And these M21s, they take a shot from the 88, which does damage them around, causes them to go a bit off target. But there we go, M4A376 gets line of sight, hammers it directly. Pack 40 going to be continuing to attack the Jumbo, but a little bit of a miss micro here. Jumbo has got its side armor facing to the Pack 40, and the Jumbo goes down. So I think I put it on like an attack order or like a move order to the right a little bit. Completely neglected the Pack 40 over here. Got my Jumbo killed, which was unfortunate because it should have been able to just continue to tank the 88 and the Pack 40 there. Here we go, M21 still trying to get the kill. Currently missing quite a lot. Finally get it. Pack 40 down. Now my M4A3 engaged on this right side by a Pack 38. Now 1000 meter range, that Pack 38 can't really penetrate an M4A3. So just going to be continuing that engagement, no worries. And I do manage to kill off a Fallschirmjäger there. Scouts still leading up the charge. Now it's 35 seconds until Phase B, and when Phase B comes around, what we need to do is sort of develop our current push. So I've already done a significant amount of damage. I've taken out the Pack 40, we've taken out 2 Pack 38s, we've taken out an 88, and the last one's on low health. So we're making quite a lot of ground here. Managed to get my armoured rifles up here. Armoured LMG rifles are still alive with the engineer leader, so all of my infantry is still alive, which is very important. And that just allows me to bring in the, you know, more useful reinforcements moving into the next phase. So M21 mortars, they're finding their 50 cals onto this Osttrooper, these poor Osttrooper squads, they just pop up out of nowhere. I do lose an M4A3 here to the pesky Pack 40 on the right side. That's the one that took out my M16. Did find line of sight onto that tank, and I lost it, unfortunately. It's quite a big deal because these M4A3s with 2-star veterancy, thanks to the engineer leader, are really, really useful. So losing one is really annoying at this point. So I'm going to be rolling over my M21s. I don't want that to happen again, so I'm going to be trying to remove that Pack 40 from the game. I'm also starting to reload my Calliope now, and with Phase B arriving, so does my reinforcements. 2 M7s, these priests, longer range, allows me to engage, you know, AT guns without being in range of them, like my M21s have been with 88s. So that's great, we got those available. Jagdsauce is bringing in his own M12 GMC as well. But you can see the remainder of my reinforcements are the M4A375s, just for a bit of punch, with an M4A1 and 2 M4A1s there, and then a bunch of infantry with some extra recon. So that's what we're going for here, just sort of bolstering my recon, getting the, you know, new units of infantry ready to push into the town. So that's what I'm looking to do now. Now in Phase C, that's when the 352nd can really do a lot of damage with their Jagdpanthers, so I don't want that to happen. Here we can see a Scouts unit does manage to surrender a Fallschirmjäger, which was very nice indeed. But now 380mm off-map arriving from Uermen. Thankfully I can see that due to the Scouts. So it's only a matter of time now until my push starts to get off-mapped. These Scouts get taken out by the units on the left here, just before the GMC pins them down. So great job by Jagdsauce there, bringing in that GMC, because it can do a lot of damage due to its high HE. Feel my mortars firing away towards his Pack 40 now, alongside my M7s actually. I really just want to make sure that's not a factor when I'm moving forwards all of these tanks. But as you can see, my recon is really starting to die now. I lose my armoured LMG rifles and the engineer leader there. I lose those armoured rifles as well. Thankfully there is a lot of 50 cals here, so the Ju-87 doesn't really stand a chance, and neither does the second. And well, myself and Jagdsauce both bring in fighters. Jagdsauce bringing in the P-38 Lightnings, I bring in the F-6Es, we shoot down both of the Ju-87s. And now it's just a matter of dogfighting against these ME-109 G0s and the G6R6s, and they lose another Ju-87 there. So P-38 down there for Jagdsauce, unfortunately, but I managed to double team one of the ME-109s. So it's a matter of 4 versus 2 now, and Uermen's ME-109s aren't really going to stand much of a chance, especially if they keep flying in formation like this and getting themselves both pinned down at the same time. So there we go, one down. It's just a matter of time until I swoop round and get onto the back of that one, although Jagdsauce can be beating me to it there. Firing away, I eventually get the kill with the F-6C. And the beautiful thing about these F-6Cs is they also act as recon, so I'm going to be keeping them about. I've got my F-6C combination here, now coming in for the strafing runs onto the 88s, and how beautiful is that? As they fly over the town, they reveal all sorts of stuff for me, all sorts of targets that I've just got to keep an eye on, and then that will give me targets that I can use my artillery against. So at this point I've still got all 4 of my M21 mortar carriers alive, which is very important actually. I've still got my Calliope alive, I've got my M7s alive. The rest of the stuff is sort of expendable. However, I don't want to be losing units for free still. So it's just a matter of getting my Calliope to pin down the Pak 40 and the 88 here. And then what I can do is start to make a bit of a push with the M4A3, knowing that I'm not going to necessarily be side shot from this right side. Direct hit with the Calliope does finish off the Pak 40 there for me. And I stop the rest of it. Put the next 6 missiles into the town, or rockets, should I say. M4A1 hitting the Pak 38 there. M4-105 from Jagdsauce picking up the kill. More 380mm off-map coming in. But a lot of my forces are tanks now. The only issue with this off-map is it's on top of my scouts, which is my last scouts unit. And without any recon pushing into the town with tanks, you know, it's not a very good idea. So I'm going to need infantry to lead the charge, and that's where my reinforcing infantry now comes into play. You can see where I'm starting to fast move in the forwards, create a screen really for my tanks. My infantry can move forwards, take the engagements with the Fallschirmjägers and whatever else I end up against, and then my tanks can just blast them to pieces with the 50 cals. So mortars firing away onto all of the different targets that I've spotted, the machine guns, you know, units of infantry, AT guns. Do lose an M3A1 half-track there to the 88. Fortunately survived with the armoured LMG rifles, because that would have been quite catastrophic if I lost a unit of infantry for free there, because then I would have only been pushing into a town with 2 units. But 380mm off-map coming down again onto the same place. Scouts definitely die this time around, but most of my tanks perfectly okay. However, HS-129 is on the way. Going to be going for the kill onto the M4A1. Does manage to pick it up. However, AA is still pretty strong, and with the P38 coming in there, that picks up the kill. So I do still have, I have some reinforcing AA now with the new M16 coming in, and now it's Phase B, I have that available. But it's just a matter of pushing up as hard as I can here. M8's going to be moving forwards and trying to keep recon onto this tree line in case another AT gun comes down and tries to sneak in. Meanwhile, my infantry are, like I've said before, just screening, revealing infantry units that I can then mortar, and my tanks can just hit as hard as possible. So the push coming in here, Jagdsauce on this left side completely securing that, which now allows him to be very aggressive with his units and join me in the push into the town here. So trying to get a unit as far as possible. The M3A1 half-track does get killed, and that actually pins down my rifles there. So the Grenadier, you know, could have jumped forwards and maybe made my armoured LMG rifles surrender. Would have been very risky though, so I'm just going to get the hell out of there and try and avoid that surrender. But here we go, it's getting very loud as all of the 50 cals open up onto multiple units of Fallschirmjägers. I've got the air show coming in, F6Cs flying about, they can help pin down the 88s. It's also going to be the job of my M7 Priest though, as you can see, definitely going for that hit there. Now my M8 on this right side does go down to Pak 38 that snuck in from this right side. But that's going to be out of range for quite a while of the majority of my tanks as they move up straight into the town. So I don't have to really worry about this right side. You can see I've just penetrated straight through the middle, and the idea now is just to quite simply secure the town and then, you know, fight off the reinforcements that they will bring in. So still making ground. Managed to take out a Flak 36 here with my artillery, and any new units that show themselves are, you know, pretty much toast now due to these mortar carriers. The great thing about this town is it provides, you know, a break in line of sight against a lot of my mortar carriers. But a Pak 38 arriving is going to be firing at my M4A3 there. Quite lucky that that wasn't a side shot. As soon as it reveals itself though, I am able to get the Calliope on target, and we're also going to be looking for some mortar shots in there as well. The armoured LMG rifles dealing with the grenadiers there, Panzer Grenadiers, or the Bolshevik, sorry, being absolutely slammed by the M4A3s. And just with these tanks in like close fire support, just how epic does this look? And what I really love about Breakthrough is a lot of the units that you don't actually see sometimes are used quite frequently. For example, I wouldn't usually bring in M4A375s because I would probably just have M4A1s with, you know, the 76mm versions of the M4A3s. But the 75mm versions, you know, I tend to neglect. Whereas in this game mode, this is really good for being the sort of front line with your infantry as I continue to move forwards. And just close fire support is really what they are. And as long as they keep out of the 150-meter range of these grenadiers, I'm absolutely fine. And my armoured LMG rifles help make that possible. The 12-man squads are Bolshevik Pioneer, so I don't have to worry about those. Another 88 is dead on this right side. Here comes a HS-129B1. It's going to absolutely wreck my M4A3 and force it to fall back, but didn't quite get the kill. HS-129 though is going to go down due to all of the 50 cals that it flew over. Now 2 more MU-109s coming in to try and secure the air. My P-38 Lightning does go ahead and drop some bombs onto the infantry there, and that's going to allow me to use that afterwards to try and shoot down a plane as well. So Jagdsauce picking up that kill, Focke-Wulf 190 now coming in to help out. That's 1 versus 2 at the moment. I think at this point my F6Cs were, yeah, just reloading. So I just had an F6C come off cooldown there. Right, it's phase C. It's time for Dan Din's Jagdpanthers to arrive. It's not often you see this many in one go, but yeah, we certainly got a fight on our hands. However, we only have to hold for another 1 minute and 30 seconds, and we quite simply win the game. So I've got my reinforcements on the way. It's just a couple jumbos with more, you know, infantry and some more AA. And that's what I'm going to be trying to use here to hold this town at close range. These M4A3s actually work pretty well. I've just got to keep them out of line of sight of the Jagdpanthers. Otherwise, I'm going to be in a pretty bad spot. So I do lose a M4A375 to the Stug, I believe it was, back here, Stug 3. But now we have the Jagdpanthers moving into the town. This one being very aggressive. 3-star Jagdpanther rolling down. Going to try and sneak out with Pool. Go for that shot. Managed to get direct hit, but only transmission damage into the front armor of the Jagdpanther. So now it's up to my M4A3 here to try and save Pool. Can he do it? Yes, he can. 13 AP. Going to be more than enough to penetrate at that range. Fantastic job. Another Jagdpanther going down there to my M4A3, I guess that was. Probably with a side shot, or it might have even been the armoured rifles here with their bazooka, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you can see the blob that we have now as we bring up more reinforcements, and it's going to be terribly hard, especially this is on neutral perspective, for the Axis to push us back. With 1 second left, that is a major victory after 22 minutes and 56 seconds. What a fantastic game that was. 3,375 kills to 1,440 losses. Jagdsauce even better, taking a much more cautious approach with the 2,325 kills to 420 losses. So yeah, they put up a decent fight, especially in Phase A. You know, I didn't completely break through straight away, which is often what I've seen on the 2v2 Breakthrough. I think the main issue with the Breakthrough game mode, and the reason I don't play it too often, is because it's quite unbalanced in favour of the attackers, I feel. But they are still trying to sort that out, Eugen. So we'll see how it goes in the future. But yeah, for now, I feel like it's attacker favoured. But completing this attack onto Cheux does leave me with the new Panzer IV Ace, and yeah, it's just really cool. I will bring it up on the screen for you guys, just give you a quick twirl around so that you guys can see it, and let me know what you think in the comments. But that's all for now, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Not often I do a breakthrough, so something a bit different. Got some stars of the show here with the M4A3 picking up multiple kills, including the Jagdpanther. That came in at the start of the game, made it all the way to the end. Great job. Plenty of nice kills onto my mortar carriers and the Calliope and so on. A lot of my initial units actually did very, very well indeed, and sort of led the way for success in Phase B and C. But yeah, anyway, getting sidetracked. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.